So I boarded a flight from Long Beach today, American Airlines, to Dallas Fort Worth at a layover in Phoenix. And on the short flight from Long Beach to Phoenix, they make you wear a mask while sitting on the plane and all that. Well, I bought a big ass bag of food to bring it with me so that way I can take the mask off and eat very slowly and not wear the mask. But they're like, oh, you got to pull it down, and then you have to put it back over your face in between bites. Well, that's fucking ridiculous, but okay. So I'm sitting there eating some sort of snack, potato chips or something, and I got the mask down. I'm chewing on a potato chip. I'm holding another one in my hand near my mouth, and the flight waitress comes over and says, you got to put your mask up over your nose. I said, well, I'm eating. She says, you have to put it over your nose unless you're actively putting food in your mouth. I said, well, I have food in my mouth. No, actively putting the food in your mouth. I'm like, well, that's fucking ridiculous. And then I complied. She went away and left me alone. So a little later, I was chewing on some food, had the mask down, ready to take a swig out of a bottle of water. She comes by again. And she goes, are you Larry Smart? I said, yeah. She says, okay, well, I just need to know because I'm going to put your name down in my report of why you can't comply. I'm like, Jesus Christ, really? You can put it in my permanent record? Why don't you just lock me up, throw me in prison or something? And she just kind of walked away. And so anyway, the other flight waitress came by, and she was a lot more polite. And she's like, oh, just a friendly mask reminder, put your mask on. Yeah, whatever, okay. Put on over. So anyway, after we landed in Phoenix, I get off the plane, and I'm immediately escorted by some lady. Comes up to me like, are you Larry Smart? Well, yeah. I understand you had a disturbance on the flight. I was like, oh, no. She was like, well, we're not complying with the mask, and you cussed out the flight attendant. I said, well, that's an interesting way to put it. No, but I said I was eating, and I had the mask down so that I could eat. And the flight attendant came over and was a bit overzealous and basically harassing me about, not having the mask up properly over my mouth in between bites, even though I had food in my mouth and was chewing. So she explained, well, you didn't cuss her out. I said, no. I said, it's fucking ridiculous, but I didn't cuss her out. And she was like, okay, well, you can't do that. Really? But anyway, then as I'm sitting there talking to her, I have the mask over, and, I have a big nose. And I explained that to her. I said, look, I have a big nose, and my sinuses are not in the best shape, so I have trouble breathing through my nose, so I breathe through my mouth a lot. And while I'm chewing my food, I'm breathing through my nose, which is difficult for me, and even more so with the mask over. So I explained that to her, and it's funny and I told her I have a big nose, and it's too, with the beard and the big nose, the mask doesn't stay over my nose. And it kept slipping off my nose as I'm talking to her. And she goes, well, I see that it doesn't stay on your face. And she goes, so you might want to try like 2 masks. I said, well, I'll wear 3 or 4, whatever the fuck it takes, but because she was saying that they're going to deny me entry onto my connecting flight, and that I would be stuck in Phoenix and staying there on my own dime, basically. So I was like, no, don't do that. And so anyway, they let me on the flight, but to be continued. So they said that they were going to call down to the connecting gate for me and inform them that they had a troublemaker. They didn't call me that, but a potential non-compliant person or whatever they called me. and that they were going to be making sure that I complied, or they were not going to let me on the flight. So I thanked them for that service, and I had about a 2-hour layover. So I decided, I'm going to go and get some food and whatnot. First I went to the gate, and I heard them announcing that, if you don't have a mask, come to the ticket or the gate counter and they'll give you a mask. I only had the one that was highly used, and I figured I better get some more. So I went up there and I made sure that, there was a piece of glass between me and the ticket agent, or whatever you call the person at the gate agent. And I wanted to make sure that she could hear me through the glass, so I was rather loud. But everybody heard me. But I said, they informed me that my nose is too big for a single mask. They told me that I must wear 2 to 3 masks in order to board this flight. And got a lot of chuckles from the people around me. I thought that was funny. So they handed me 2 Ziploc bags, like sandwich bags with masks in it. Not like factory sealed bags from the mask factory. No, they were like fucking sandwich bags with surgical masks in them. And so I asked if the person who put these masks in the bag, whoever has that job, I asked if there was some way to know that person washed their hands properly after wiping their ass. And they didn't bother to answer that question. But a lot of people heard me ask it. So again, hopefully you got some people thinking for the first time in their life. Who knows? And so anyway, I took the masks and I went and got me some lunch. I figured, I'm pissed. I'm thinking, well, shit, the damn snacks. I'm going to get some different food. I'm going to take on a whole freaking, 3-course dinner or something. And I'm thinking, well, what could I take in there that obviously can't wear a mask while I'm eating? So I thought, buffalo wings. I ordered a bunch of buffalo wings to go, and I made sure they put a lot of sauce on it. I ordered it. They didn't give it to me that way, but I said, I want extra sauce. I want like buffalo wing soup with bones floating around in it is what I asked for. They're like, oh, I don't think the box could handle that. It's like a paper box that's going to soak through. So I don't care. Give me a box with a lot of sauce and some wings, or some extra sauce on the side or something. So they're like, okay. So I got some wings. They didn't have a lot of sauce on them, but it was great. So I sat there, and of course the flight was pretty much completely full. I had a window seat, and the 2 seats next to me were full. And I also bought like a bag with some water, and I brought a coffee, and I put a straw in it. That way I can sit there with the straw in my mouth even when I wasn't drinking. So I had this all figured out. And I figured that when I'm done, my mask, my hands, the seat, the tray table, everything would be doused in fucking buffalo wing sauce by the time I left that place. And so, of course, they didn't have any. I asked for a napkin. They couldn't give me one. We don't have napkins on the planes anymore. Really, what am I supposed to blow my snot into? My mask? So, you go to the bathroom and get some toilet paper if you want. But anyway, they didn't have any kind of service, not even water on the flight. No coffee, no water, no nothing. So just basically police assholes telling you you're wearing your mask wrong. That's the only purpose these flight waitresses serve anymore. So, once I get in the air, I pull my tray table down, I bust out my wings, and just started chewing on wings, and of course had nothing to wipe my hands on, so I'm wiping it on the seat, wiping it on the tray table. And interesting that they have some sort of coating on them where the sauce won't even like come off your fingers. Like you wipe saucy fingers all over the seat and the seat stays clean. I'm like, well, shit. That kind of takes the fun out of this whole thing. So I start out like, as I eat the chicken wing, take the bone, and I just set it on the tray table, knock them off onto the floor. The coffee I got was from Peet's Coffee. God damn, that was some nasty shit. Fucking worst coffee I've ever had, and I've had some jail fucking house nasty ass coffee. This shit was god awful crap. I managed to drink half of it, then I just threw the other half on the floor. I put the cup down there, didn't dump it or anything. And then I put the box of bones, whatever trash, left it on the floor. And then, I kind of forgot they were there. And as I got up, I accidentally stepped on everything and mashed it all up into the floor and wiped my hands off onto the seats. And I had serious thoughts about, I was actually going to try to induce vomiting on the flight. But the people sitting next to me didn't seem like they deserved that. But but they were generally pretty disgusted with me. Nonetheless, I could tell it was a lot of fun. So I'm not going to be flying American Airlines ever again. At least not if I can help it. And I doubt I'm going to try to avoid ever flying anyone else ever again too. So I might trade in all my airline miles for fucking magazine subscriptions or some bullshit like that. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But maybe they'll come to their senses and make air travel not so fucking horrible. And I might consider it. But at this point, I'm pretty much done flying. Fuck 'em.